I'm Diana Gishengo, the National Coordinator at the Institute for Social Accountability, TISA. We are partners with Aphrodite. We are a national organization that works on many things, including tax justice, debt justice, public finance. And so at the national level, we have been an anchor organization for Aphrodite work at the continental level. The last year has been very, very exciting because one, we did an analysis of the special drawing rights. So this is a facility created by the IMF where countries are allowed to get some money to build their dollar reserve during times of crisis. And Kenya has received support from this fund, but unfortunately our research shows it's not something that is understood. It doesn't quite help us because of how much it is shrouded in secrecy. But then ultimately we also analyze it and realize what we are given by the IMF as a rescue for our size of the nation, the crisis, the amount of extraction from colonization, what countries in the global north receive and what countries like in the global south receive is mockery. So we've been able to voice that very well, and it has sparked interest within government. So our own research has created special interest within the Parliamentary Budget Office to research into this particular area of special drawing rights, and we believe that way in future the country will have the right conscience to push more robustly for a restructuring of international financial institutions. In addition, KIPRA, which is the national and government agency around policy analysis, has also taken up this area of research, and luckily they are speaking to other countries in Africa. So we believe we sparked a conversation in Kenya and across the continent. But in addition to that, we held the first debt conference in Kenya, a conference that was one oversubscribed by both the people and government actors. This meeting sparked special interest within Parliament, where members of Parliament ordinarily they come and say, "Oh, I have to be here for very, very briefly. I have to run for another meeting." They stayed the entire day in shock, just discovering what the consequences of the current debt levels, the continued culture is. And as a result of this particular conference and the weighing in we did on Parliament, the Public Debt and Privatization Committee has so far sanctioned 2 audits of public debt. They are speaking very, very candidly about the issue. They have also pushed back against amendments that had been proposed to weaken the mandate of Parliament. So we are seeing Parliament taking their rightful place. It was also a conference that made very, very interesting proposals. And one of them was informed by a young, let me call her a young girl, who had just finished secondary school. And when she raised the shock of, why do you teach us all this geography? Why do you teach us all this chemical equation? When immediately I leave school, the first thing I encounter is cost of living, which is ultimately linked to fiscal governance, to tax, to debt. This needs to be incorporated. And this is also a conversation that has gone to Parliament. And based on the theme of the National Debt Conference, that's the reason why Okwa Uchumi, and specifically TISA, was invited by the National Assembly leadership to come and share insights around what Parliament must do around the economy, around taxation, and ultimately the debt burden. And we have since submitted options to Parliament for their consideration. We then carried the Kenyan voice, as we had it during the national conference, to the Africa conference. And I think as a result of our sharing, we have now managed to establish a forum where more national organizations are taking part in the Pan-African agenda of ensuring that we are not a rule receiver. We permanently receive rules from the G20, the G7, and so on. We are now moving to making sure that Africa is the rule maker, because we own the resources, we own the most people on the universe. So we've started that conversation, and we hope with time the AU will become stronger and will be able to join other leaders, including the Barbados Prime Minister, who is leading in reforming the global economic and finance architecture to ensure that ultimately the people who need to be on the table and shape priorities are the ones who are there, not the people who have been very, very selfish, privileged, and have stolen over the years and continue to steal, including through interest, and extract from us. Yeah, so it has been a beautiful year of pushing change. We are energized and we look forward to the next year.